Okay, good. Let me introduce everybody.
Okay.
We're with Dr. Sam Muggsy, and we're with Ray Koselanich. And is that George?
He's trying to come in. They're going through timelines. He's far out, but he may come in strong. He was doing it a little while ago with me and her.
Oh, okay. Could you explain to our viewing and listening audience who George is?
George is one of my Fab Four. He's the Elephant Man. They're 10 feet tall. They're from the 13th and 14th dimension. These guys are brilliant. They're about a million years of technology. And as I'm speaking to you, Alfred, he's trying to come in.
Okay. Now, we were together just a few days ago, and George was coming in and was speaking, and you and Dr. Muggsy uh, could understand what he was saying because Dr. Muggsy said it's telepathic. Now, I haven't been able to tune in to that level of telepathy. I don't know why. Maybe I'm supposed to be down here on this 3D level doing whatever it is I do. But anyway, I'm not tuned in to that frequency, and I'm not sure whether those who are watching can hear also. So, what's your best suggestion for people like me and those who are watching for this program?
The main thing is history in the making for anybody to hear ET language, period. This isn't something that happens every day. These guys are actually all of them are watching your show. They know I get the information out. When we did the show with Mary Rodwell, he was coming in talking ET language, but he also was talking to me telepathically to meet them on Monday morning, which I did. And that was going on because I was writing stuff down, the coordinates and everything to go see him. But you may hear a slurping sound. That's the circle grays when he comes in. He's trying to come in now. There'll be other ET talk on this. That must be your dog, Sam.
He wants his debut.
He's getting it. They're also, because I met the new number 33, Alfred, the giant bird people, which they are awesome. And there's two more entities that are going to be working with my Fab Four. The Vulcans from the planet Xantar, another galaxy, and the Mole people from another galaxy.
Now, let's go over that again. There is, you said something about number 33?
Number 33, I've met a total of 32 star people, which you know.
Yeah.
Number 33, I met on Monday in the wee hours in the morning, the giant bird people. And I knew that, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I knew they were going to meet them in my next meeting, which actually came up Monday. My Fab Four are going to be working with these people. They're 1 billion in population. These guys are 9 to 12 feet tall. They're in a black jumpsuit with wings over their jumpsuit behind them, kind of like an angel. They have like a red mohawk curly hair with yellow fur on both sides. Their face is something similar to a bald eagle with a yellow beak. They have huge dark eyes, sunken way in. They have hands. They have 4 fingers. The tip of their fingers are red. The rest on the outside is this yellow fur, this beautiful yellow fur color that they have. They have a patch on their uniform of a bird and the craft that they fly in. It's a giant craft, similar to looks like a blimp in a sense, with a partial wing on the right side. It's all blue, and at night it has red and white lights all around it. It's a giant craft that they fly in. They talk telepathically, and they're going to be working with my Fab Four. With their closest friends are the Vulcans from the planet Xantar, another galaxy, and the Mo people, and some other entities that he didn't mention. I took bird seed, sunflower seeds, 7 loaves of bread. I always bring that. And this bird man, I shook hands with him. He thanked me because my Fab Four had told them about me for what I'm doing for them and speaking for the star people. It was pretty awesome. And I talked to the lady that drew all 32. She's going to draw number 33. And I'll make sure you get a copy and some other people when I get that done. The wind you're hearing, Alfred, they're going through a lot of timelines. They're going to use our mics when they come through. You hear them talking.
Right. So, are you hearing anything other than this sound? Is there any communication being made now?
Nothing yet because they're so far out.
So
Me and Sam were hearing them before we came on your show, but I'm hoping he gets real loud so everybody can hear him.
I see. What was George saying before you came on the show?
Well, he was just talking telepathic, letting us know that he's here. He really likes Sam and what she's doing. He's got a real deep voice, and when he gets real excited, you'll hear screams. And he's got this trunk. When he gets excited, it's real thin, but it expands when he gets excited. He'll breathe real heavy, and that's what I'm waiting to hear. And that slurping sound will be a turbo gray. They'll be communicating. A lot of times they're talking, or sometimes he'll talk to different ETs.
Do you want to know what he's saying telepathically?
Yes.
Okay, what he's saying when you ask that question about you being able to hear him telepathically is that we have a challenge where we have to intermingle with the 3D energies or the 3D people, and that becomes very difficult once you are in the fifth dimension or higher dimensions communicating with them. So, in a sense, what he was saying was that it keeps your feet on the ground. It keeps you tuned in to what you need to do, where you're searching out, kind of like the ocean, opposed to moving up. And it's really important for you to do it the way that you're doing so that you can complete your tasks that you need to complete. They don't want to put too much on your table. They're using everybody in their best capacity, opposed to making them do multiple jobs, and we're each doing our one part. And so what you're doing is really a heavy job. You got the dirty job, and you do it quite well. The other thing that he was saying too was that what they want to do at this time is just introduce the energies and have people tune into the energy frequencies. And this helps to develop your inner self, your inner star that I'm calling the gold star and the capstone. Once you can feel and trust what you're getting and being able to pick up with those frequencies, then they're going to gradually start coming in. But they don't want you to trust external anymore because of some of the dark cabal's plans. And the way that they're going to safeguard any type of fake alien invasion is when the development of the individual is within, and we develop who we are supposed to be as these high class humans. I don't know what else to call it. So it's really important for people to develop their golden star and their capstone so that they develop who they are on the inside and quit relying on the outside for all of your answers.
Now, what is a golden star and what is a capstone?
Okay. When I started life coaching about 15 years ago, I was doing all these readings and I found that everybody was kind of missing in the 5 prongs of your life. And that would be your financial, your spiritual, your mental, your emotional, and your social skills. And they would be out of balance. And people would be like, we have some people that are very much into their spirituality, but they can't manage their finances, or they're very much into their social skills, but their mental skills are lacking. So it's really important for us to maintain a high level of balance within those 5 areas of our lives and keep pushing that bar forward to develop more as the human that we need to be. Once you do that, then you can balance what is your capstone. And the capstone is the duality. It's the dark and the light. You have to have those in balance and see the world through a balanced perspective. And once you've achieved that, then you can start really tuning into these energies and figuring out where do they go. If you're unbalanced and you don't have your golden star, then when you hear, well, first of all, you create an energy, and like attracts like. So if I'm a mishap, low level, say positive timeline person, then that's exactly what I'm going to be drawing into me. And so these higher dimensional beings really want people to elevate their frequency by develop within, so that when they are manifesting and creating or they're meeting ETs, they're going to have like attract like, and you're going to be able to attract higher dimensional beings.
Right. Now, going to the gold star, you mentioned that there are 5 places. 4 of them are financial, mental, social, and spiritual. What's the 5th one?
There's spiritual, mental, social. Social is really important. That would be your social skills dealing with people, but also your relationships. We have a lot of people that are wonderful people, but they draw to them these box of rocks, I call them, for their partner, and that suppresses them, their thinking. So they're out of balance. So everything needs to be kind of reevaluated in our lives.
Right. Now, how I still don't understand what a gold star is. How does the gold star relate to a balance of financial, mental, social, and spiritual?
Because if you're in balance, that's the key. So if you have these 5 prongs that you're always working on and balancing them, then you're going to develop your power within.
I see. So if you maintain a balance of financial, mental, social, spiritual, and what's the 5th one again?
Emotional, I believe.
Emotional. Okay, good. Then
I have this typed up, but also I found out. Now, I've been working with this for 15 years, like I said. I just got Dr. Frank Strange's book, and he wrote for Valiant Thor, who's the Venetian. And in there, he talks about the same thing. He called it different names than I did, but it's the same concept. And in Outwitting Tomorrow is the name of the book by Dr. Frank Strange's. It's all in there. And it also talks about the capstone as well.
Right. And the capstone is having the duality in balance, i.e., having the shadow in balance.
Correct, because there is no good and bad until we put a name to it. And this is what people miss, is that they want to think that everything is demonic, that there's this dark cabal that's totally satanic, and oh my God, they're going to usurp our authority. But that's not true, because duality is the good and the bad, or the positive and the negative. Once you realize that you choose which path you're going to go down, you can go down the dark or you can go down the light. That's what we're supposed to be learning here. So once you see it, then you realize you don't have to be subjected to it. And that's part of what your job is you're out in the fields like one of those pointer dogs, raising up all the ducks so people can see it what it is, and then make a choice. Okay, yeah, I want to stay on this negative path, or no, I'm going to switch to the positive path. So you have a very important role.
Big time.
Right, right. So, why is it that George came through, this 10-foot high elephant man from the 13th dimension? Why George?
Number one, to meet Sam, and you know, he's letting her know, this is an ET from another dimension. Okay, these people are real, and it took a while for Sam to see what was going on here. But then when she finally realized some of the things he was saying to her, she's well protected. They're still trying to come in, and they're helping me out by doing what they're doing. And the main thing about all these ETs, I get these guys laughing when I'm in the meeting room. They're trying to understand the emotion of happiness and sadness that us humans go through. They're really trying to work to understand us on our emotions. Okay? As these people are anywhere from 50,000 to 1,000,000 years of technology. But this is something that they lack on us humans. And they know us humans are amazing people. We're multi-beings. There's so much that we can do, Alfred, but there was so much that was taken away from us. And these people are going to give us the answers when they come here.
And another reason is because George was the only one I would let in. I didn't want to have contact with anybody else. So when it started, George was the only one that I would accept in, because none of the negative stuff that's out there talks about an elephant man. So I figured it's pretty safe,
Now, I know that a lot of people that are going to be watching this, and I'm sure that you all have had the experience of going to the comments section on YouTube. And we're not talking about the shills, because the shills come in and they're just going to throw up all of their negativity to make people think that none of this exists.
Right.
But they're going to be people that are going to say, how do you know that all of this is real? I mean, how do we know that what you're experiencing is real? Sure, you're having this experience, but all that we're listening to is a bunch of signs, and then you're telling us that this is what you hear. Do you have you been able to get a picture of George? Have you been able to
well, you got
tape him?
You got the drawings of George.
Oh yeah, yeah. We are definitely going to show the drawings of George. Yeah.
What your audience has to understand, that's the most obvious question. Why didn't he take pictures? I'm just letting your audience know. It's so hard to get pictures. You know, they can make this camera disappear, ruin the film. When these people come down here for contact, you can take all the pictures you want. They don't care if you take pictures that are crap. There's a reason why that no one actually gets pictures of these people. It would be an accident beyond realm for this to happen. Uh, I'm trying to work on something for that down the road for what I've been doing for these people.
Well, can I add? I understand that people are going to have their criticisms and their doubts, and that's healthy. And I want them to be on their guard. I want them to think. I want them to make fun of it or find problems with it, because at least they're engaging in the possibility. Otherwise, they wouldn't address it. And when you are doing this, you're actually in the paradox. You're at the 0 point frequency, which is then you can move into having your own experiences down the line. You've already opened up your mind. I was a doubter. You know, you do radio shows, and I don't believe anybody. I get so tainted. And then it wasn't until, I mean, I can unplug my mic, and you guys will see that he's coming in on my mic, and and Ray. I'm pointing, and you guys can't see, but Ray's in St. Louis. I'm in his Arizona.
Right.
So, but it's healthy for people to doubt. You know, I want that. Please do it. Criticize. I don't mind, because it's not your experience at this point, but it's the first step, and they got to start somewhere. So this way, at least they're making their introductions. People are getting open-minded about the possibility, even if they're doubting it. And then George is going to start coming on more and more. Eventually, he's going to be talking.
Right.
That is down the line. That's what he's preparing us for. But right now, he just wants people to get used to the frequency and tuning into the frequency.
I agree with what you're saying. The other thing is, you know, we're human, Alfred. We do everything the human way. And Sam can vouch for this. We really lucked out. She's got a 27-minute real clear of him talking on YouTube. And your audience can go to whatever link she's got that on YouTube. You can really hear him clear. Talking ET talk, though. He's not talking our language. These guys can talk our language, many languages, and telepathically. He's starting to come in now. Hang on. I can hear him just breathing real light. Come on, Jared.
Okay, I'm going to jump in now and ask, has anything been said? Has any meaning been conveyed to either of you during this period?
Nothing at this time, but you can hear him breathing.
Oh, so he's kind of breathing, but there's no meaning coming through. He's not saying anything.
Not right now, no. Nothing that I can understand when he's speaking telepathically.
Right. Now, in the first interview that you and I did, Ray,
Yeah.
you had said that many of these interdimensional ETs, 32 of them, and now 33 and more, who come to you, they said that all of this is building up to a transformation of human consciousness, which may happen in the next several years. So is that what George is doing, that he's now preparing to come down from the 13th into the third dimension, now in 2015, preparing for the transformation of human consciousness, which is supposed to take place, around 2017 or something?
Right. There.
Is that kind of generally what you think is happening now?
Right, because what's happening, Alfred, not just meeting the Birdman, I don't know if I'll meet these Vulcans or the Mole people. It's very possible. How many are really coming in? Because it's our time to evolve here. 2015 is the setting year. It's going to be an amazing year. What came out of that meeting I just had recently, there's going to be a new alignment of all the planets for this process as we go from 3D Corbin to fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional beings. In order for this to happen, there's a giant shift on our planet, and these new alignments of all these planets. Some of them they were talking about was Jupiter, Venus, Mars, Moon, and our planet Earth, besides other planets. We are not the only ones going through this process. There's other planets with other beings going through the same thing. And they're setting everything up. They're taking out any bad entity coming in. They're really getting ready for what's going to take place between now and the major year that they talk about, that everybody's talking about, 2017.
Can I make one correction, please? Sorry.
Go ahead.
It's not that they're coming to the third dimension, Alfred. We're raising. So they're actually coming on the tip of the fourth and into a higher frequency. They're not coming into the third.
Right.
So it's that we're elevating now.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. We're elevating. The 250 reptilians that me and totally talk about, they're third dimensional beings. Okay? And as this frequency is moving up, they're going to disappear. They're not going to be here no more. They cannot withstand the high frequency that we're going into. And our frequency is starting to rise.
Right.
We see a lot of different changes down here like never before. With, totally as well as I do, my guys are higher dimensional beings, just like this Birdman, these Vulcans and the Mole people, and the other people I met out of the 32. There's no cut down to his Andromeda Council. These people are all backing up this Andromeda Council of Tolik. And what Tolik has been saying about the four beings coming from the four different planets, all these beings that are going to set up, they're going to be the ones that will be first contact down here to let everybody know what's going on. The people that speak different languages, they got that all planned and set up to talk to these people on this planet to let everybody know who our relationships are. You look at the races down here, you know, we all had to come from somewhere. Everybody has relations out there. There's been a lot of things taken away from us, Alfred. We're going to start knowing all this and learning new technologies when these people come down here. People like me, Tolik, other contactees, we are the pace setters to get the information out, to get as many people awakened on this planet, so that when the time comes for ET to come down, everything's going to be smooth, there will be no fear, everything's going to be set. That's what's going on. But there's going to be a lot of different changes like never before down here.
Well, isn't it really, though, what Dr. Muggsy just said? And that is that it's not so much about them coming down, it's about humanity ascending in frequency and
Well,
coming up to the new frequency levels.
that's in the picture. Everything's going to happen through this timeline we're going through. At the same time of what they're preparing, there's people, there's ETs on the top of this planet walking amongst us. There's good ETs with underground bases down here. These people are programmed and ready to do what they're supposed to do when the time happens. No, I agree with what you're saying, though, and I'm agreeing with Sam's saying too.
So that this is part of a process of sort of breakdown, breakthrough. That is the breakdown of the old order, and the breakdown and the breakthrough to the new realities. Is that sort of what's occurring now?
Exactly. You're going to see a lot of the, you know this, and so does Sam and other people listening. The bad come down here to do no good, but to control, eliminate humanity, or become what they are. All these good ETs are watchers and protectors of planet Earth. There will be no destruction on this planet. They will not interfere on regular human life, but they're going to start intervening on everything. Because this is the process that's set up by all these top ETs, the Andromeda Council, to set this up. For it's our time now as humans to evolve to the next level. This planet will not be third dimensional planet anymore once we go into the fourth dimension. There will be a planet Earth out there for third dimensional people that want to stay third dimensional. Other beings from other planets will be going to that planet too that want to stay third dimensional. People are going to have a choice. And these people that, who's been running the show are going to either change or they're not going to be here.
Now, kind of just going point by point here. You brought up Tolik's name, who's a mutual colleague of ours.
Right.
Okay, so I was one of the ones who brought Tolik to public prominence by a whole series of programs and interviews that we did a number of years ago. And in those programs, Tolik, among other things, said that on January 1st, 2014, we would be entering 4D, that we would all be 10 feet tall, we'd all be about 35 years old, and things would be very, very different. Now, what happens now is that there's a large bulk of people out there who are in my audience and who are, just normal people who hear that, and they say, well, they've lost, Tolik and his information have lost credibility completely because of those statements. And in fact, at the time that those statements were made, I checked with other multidimensional sources who said, no, that's not the way that it's going to play at January 1st, 2014. So could you, I know that Tolik's not here, but could you explain?
Can I take this one?
Yeah, sure.
Go Go ahead, Sam, and I'm going to say something to it too, but you go ahead, Sam.
Yep.
Okay, these guys, Tolik and Ray, and I would suspect many others, they are being educated in their box of information. They don't have the whole story. They don't know everything. And I've noticed this with Ray, and you can even pick up on it in this interview, where Ray is also in his box, and that is for multiple reasons. One is so that one person doesn't have the whole picture. We all need each other. Everybody has a piece of the puzzle, and it's also for their protection. But I know a couple of years ago interviewed Tolik. It was personal, and he had made a comment to me about the Japanese Fukushima thing, and he wasn't correct. And I kind of jumped him, and I feel bad about that, because now I realize it wasn't that they're disinfo agents. It's more of they're also kept in the dark. And because the people want to hear certain answers, they tend to stretch themselves, and that's where they make the mistake. So they need to be able to say, I don't know. But like with Ray, he sees things from his point of view, from his consciousness. So what he's being told is always being siphoned through his consciousness and then retold his story from his consciousness point of view. And I found this a lot with psychics when they would get information from higher dimensions. That's where the readings always went wrong or astray, is because we have a filter. And depending on where that filter is will dictate what comes out of our mouths. And so we need to take that into consideration. Tolik's not necessarily a disinfo agent. It's just that they have their compartmentalized information or their point of view according to their consciousness.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to add, very good, Sam. So your audience understands this. And I've backed Tolik, and I would back any other contactee on this. At the time when Tolik said this, it wasn't really the time, okay? When I'm talking about, even though my higher beings are talking, not just my higher beings, a lot of people are talking about, even down here, this is a major year, 2017, for the people on planet Earth. Again, I want to stress this. Tolik and me are not being any kind of predictors of a year, because it just doesn't happen. That's why ET doesn't use a date and a time. Now, if sometime in 2017, this really happens, or after, or before, everything's getting set and ready. Just like we're having this show with you, Alfred, and all the shows I've done with Muggsy and everybody, even Tolik. It's the process. There's so much that has to be done out there with them, also with us, to make everything work the way it's supposed to work. It's going to take some time. But whatever year it is, and if we get the information that it's really going to happen way before, or this year, or 2017, or after, we are the pace setters. We are messengers. We're doing our job. We just get the word out as we get it from them. And I will stand by that, and I'll stand by what Tolik says, because that's the information we get. George is trying to come in. That's all I want to say to that.
Okay, so what you're doing is you are and what's happening here right now with George and with Ray and with Dr. Muggsy and myself and with our listeners is that this is a real-time interdimensional communication session having to do with the future ascension process. Is that what this is?
Yes, it is part of it, yeah.
Okay.
And what the other thing is, as humans, we're all entitled to our own opinion. You know, when they hear these sounds from George, whether they think it's ET real sound, it's up to them to judge for themselves. And for the ones that think it's the other way, they're entitled to their own opinion. We want that to come in. It's not a perfect world, you know. And this person has been a friend of mine for over 55 years, plus the other Fab Four, the other three. These people are friendly. They're helping us. They have a lot of ETs. We got the Andromeda Council. We got the Silver Legion. You got the Bird people. The list goes on of what's coming in here, what's down here, what's on underground bases down here. They're actually working on Yellowstone, so it doesn't go off because it would kill a lot of people. Back in 2011, they were underneath the pneumatic fault line working on the plates, so that wouldn't go off. These people are down here to help us and protect planet Earth. This is what they do. These people, like I said, they're watchers and protectors of this planet and the people in it. And people are going to start seeing different changes, start feeling different transitions affecting all of us as we go through this. There's going to be some big time earthquakes like never before. You can thank the Andromeda Council for putting this planet through slow motion so nobody gets killed or hurt. It's a process that's part of this. But there's so much to do. And we as humans have to play and do our part for what we've been doing to this planet. We've been destroying this planet for a long time because we live here under the rules that we're under. And they know we're changing and turning everything around. And if we don't do this, we won't be here. Planet Earth will always be here. But they know we're doing it. And they know it's our time to ascend. And that's happening. That's all I wanted to say.
Can I add something, please?
Please.
Okay, let's talk about the Andromedan Council. There's a lot of people that are fearful or not accepting of the Andromedan Council because allegedly there are Andromedans working with our government that have been manipulating some of this New World Order crap. So in the case that the people do not want the Andromedans to land, they are not going to be the ones doing first contact. They will not. If it's going to stimulate any kind of fear or pandemonium, it's not going to happen. Just like I was in charge of bringing in George. He's the only one I would let in. The same thing is true for our landing. If we're going to be greeted, we get to decide who comes in. And George, the Fab Four, and a lot of others are watching. The other thing is that the Andromedans are not working alone. They are part of a council, and they also work with the Patals, which is one of the oldest races. They're also working with benevolent Palladians and benevolent other races that we don't even know about. So what is going to transpire is that we are going to be viewed, watch our comments. I wouldn't be at all surprised if they weren't on Facebook or YouTube or something like that, watching how we respond to certain races. And the one that we're the most comfortable with is the one that is going to be allowed to come in. We get to choose. It is not going to be forced on us at all.
Right. So, do you in October of 2010, actually going back to 2010, there was a colleague of mine, Stanley Fulham, a Canadian, who was a lifelong NORAD officer whose job at NORAD was to dispatch fighter jets after any UFO that intruded into the North American airspace. And after he retired, he was contacted by a regional galactic governance council of the Alpha Centaurians, the Pleiadians, the Sirians, and others. And he wrote a book about this. And in the book, he said that on October 15th, 2010, or October 13th, 2010, one of those two dates, the council ships are going to fly over New York. And I said, my God, Stanley, how can you put that on the front and back cover of your book? And in fact, on October 13th, 2010, New York City and Manhattan was overflown by ships of the Regional Galactic Governance Council. They decloaked their ships. And then I interviewed Stanley Fulham after that, and I interviewed him for a couple of times. By December, he was dead. They had given him a case of fast-acting cancer, by remote bioweapons. And he predicted that council ships would fly over Moscow on specific dates and over London on specific dates in January of 2011, which they did. Have you gotten, and he had a whole set of predictions about that the council was coming in to clean up our environment, and that the Pleiadians would be coming down, or other members of the council, to first, that there would be a collapse of our current order, and then a rising of a much more compassionate order on Earth. This is in the years 2014 forward. And then around 2016 or so, the Pleiadians would come down and speak in the United Nations, and there would be a new, much more compassionate order that would arise on Earth. So this, this was at about the same time that I was conducting interviews with Tolek, so that for me, as an exopolitical researcher, I was holding comparative interviews with different regional galactic governance councils. I'm just using a different language here. I'm languaging it. Have you heard about those, about Stanley Fulham's interactions and his book and that regional galactic governance council and its predictions?
Can I go?
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking about a timeline. One of the things that George is doing is that when the Fab Four meet with Ray, they go to our future and they check the different timelines, and then they come back. So none of this is set in stone. It's going to be really hard to predict, because what they can do is that they help us move to a specific timeline. So it's on every timeline, we have met already a different race. And so they're matching up our frequency to mirror where we need to be on a timeline to have a successful integration with these ETs. So that's why these guys can't really predict anything, because it has a lot to do with the group collective consciousness at that time, and what everybody is, in a sense, kind of praying for, wishing for, daydreaming about, or meditating in their heads of what they want to manifest. And then these guys are actually watching every timeline to see which one works out best. Yeah. So it's a multiple effect that's going on that's a lot more omniverse than just, okay, let's just do this one prediction.
Right. So it's it's dipping into the dimensional ecology,
Right.
Correct.
Which is what is occurring here.
Right. You're dealing with a lot of timelines as humans, just like this year, major year 2017, it gives humans something to build on. That's all that is, per se. But it is a major year that ET and a lot of people are talking about that is a major year for us humans. What's going to come out of that? I don't know. If I get any more information on that, good information, I will get that out. This is something you can't play with because that's why people, when they hear numbers, they go, oh, here we go again. And we're not predicting anything, okay? We're just getting the information out. That's what we do. We get the information out for them.
Right,
Otherwise, I wouldn't be a contactee.
right. So in a way, there are at least a couple of purposes to this program tonight. One of which is to inform uh, a wider number of the public who perhaps hasn't tuned into George and this degree of the interdimensional intelligences coming down and making this message known. Is that one of the functions?
I would say yes to that.
Yeah.
He's letting your people hear this. Uh, it's been on Sam's shows.
Right.
Sam's a big part of this, and I agree with you saying there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm seeing George, Ray, and Sam as a team that are coming down and communicating this.
Right.
And secondly, it seems to me that there is actually a vibratory ascension effect which is happening during these programs. And that is
Correct.
Right.
That,
You got it, buddy.
You got it.
Yeah, that is that all of us are having our vibratory frequencies are coming into more sympathetic frequency rate with these other influences. Is that what you're seeing also?
Yes. And it's also an opportunity for people, whether they think this is real or not, to actually hear a voice breathing of an ET that is a friend of mine for over 55 years. I know this ET exists. These people are from a higher dimension. The only thing I want to say, I can say this real quick, and I can go back to 1959, 12 years old, when my late father was alive, because me and my late father always talked about, I always said this to my dad, why did they choose us, Dad? We're nobody. We were chosen. This was all planned out for my late father and me, through my late grandfather, when he met this 12-inch dwarf that told my late grandfather that one of your sons, which is my dad, one of your grandsons, which is me, will meet many ETs for information. And it all came true. It was all planned out. This has been my life. This is what I do. That's all I want to say to that.
Right. Does George want to come through now, or
shows? He's trying to come through.
Uh-huh.
Let's take a minute or two. Come on, George.
Hear him?
Yeah, he's breathing.
Okay, next time he does that, I'm going to unplug my mic so people know we're not just manufacturing this. And I'm in Arizona, Alfred's in Canada, and Ray is in St. Louis. Okay, go, George. Talk to the people.
Come on, George. They're going to timelines. They're really moving fast. Come on. That's it. Come on.
I unplugged my mic, see?
Yeah. He was making a little noise there before, though. He's still trying to come in. They're way out there. When he comes in clear, you'll hear him big time. Now, Alfred, you got a lot of protection now. The bird people, the Vulcans, my Fab Four, the mole people.
Yeah, I like the mole people. That's perfect.
They know how important you are and the work you're doing, Alfred. I'm supposed to let you know that too.
Oh, good. That's welcome validation
Because you
with
do,
the with the
you do
with
a
the
lot.
pins and arrows of outrageous fortune. The pins and arrows.
Yeah, but who better is equipped to handle that? Think about it.
I
Right.
know.
Right. No,
It's perfect.
I understand. I understand.
You're doing awesome work for the people on this planet. Big time. Come on, Jerry. That's him breathing. there.
Did it suddenly stop or what?
Yep.
Oh,
See, he loses our connection
Yeah.
when he's jamming through a wormhole. We noticed this a couple of weeks ago or a week ago. Wherever he's at, he will drop off, and then you just wait, I don't know, 30 seconds or something, and he'll come back. But he drops the connection, and you can hear how crystal clear it is when he drops.
Right.
So,
And-
so he comes from the 13th dimension through the technology of wormholes. Is that it?
Yeah, 13th and 14th dimension, that's where they're from, yeah.
But we don't know where he is right now. He could
No.
be anywhere, because what he does is he goes up into a higher dimension. I don't know which one, and he's going in the timeline.
Right.
So it's the butterfly effect. He's checking to see, as Ray and I bring this information forward, he's seeing how it affects our timeline and making sure that it stays on a positive frequency. So that's what he's doing. We don't know necessarily which timeline he's on at that particular time, because he fluctuates, he goes through wormholes, he goes between dimensions. I don't know. It's a mystery to me still.
So actually, programs like this with George that are interdimensional, one of their designs is to tweak the timeline so we stay on the positive timeline. Is that it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right, exactly.
Right, because still there's a lot of noise, even though we've shifted over to an infrastructure of the positive timeline and unity consciousness. You've still got 7 billion people, and you've got the whole apparatus of the Illuminati matrix that are still making noises as though they're still on the old catastrophic timeline, right?
Right. They're trying to get us to buy into it.
Right.
Yeah, having George make these his presence known, it's confirming with people that this is a possibility, opening up their minds. It's also raising their own frequency, and then they'll have their own telepathic contact. They'll know when they have one, because even though they doubt this one, but still it will stick in their head. And then they'll be able to be contacted in the near future or when they're ready.
And to let the people know there's a lot of good coming here. A lot of them are here. A lot of them are underneath the ground, walking amongst us. George is a part. He's doing the process of what he's supposed to do. Making people aware this is something good, not something evil.
So can people make their preferences known? Like if people listening to this program would say, "Hey, this is really good. We want to have more of this," then we could come on periodically and have sessions like this, and that would have a positive influence because we're tweaking for the positive timeline, but also people who are listening in would have their own frequencies raised. So that's all positive, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So
Yep.
we're going to ask people who are listening to this to make comments in the comment section, or to really communicate with us either by emailing us at news@newsinsideout.com, or you can email Ray or Dr. Muggsy that you want this to go on more, that you want more of these interactions. I mean, this is just to get feedback, to
Right.
get people's feedback as to what their experiences is.
And that's what George wants. That's what we want too, Alfred. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
And he'll come in clear when he does come in real good and bring in my Serpo Grays. You'll hear the slurping and other ET talk. Because Sam's heard it. Sam taped that 27-minute. It's on YouTube. That people go to that. Whatever your link is, Sam, you can say that because people need to hear
Yeah,
that.
if Sam would just put that in my chat, then I can put that link in the video description of this video, and so people can, and also in the article that'll accompany this video, so people can go there as well.
Well, I am logging all of this information in on ebh.club. So I have a ton of information over there. And as I get it, I put it down as fast as I can. I've had special shows. Ray and I did a sneak peek yesterday on the bird people, which I have all that available. And I'm also writing my book on how to have a quantum health home clinic, how to make yourself healthy and heal. So that's all part of it. And then all the information about the life coaching and the 5 stages of your golden 5-star. Because, one of the things that I found out was that sometimes when people, and Alfred, they might do this to you, but if their star is not balanced and they don't have the inner capstone and they're not grounded, when they meet somebody like you, Alfred, they might get all giggly or crazy or doing stupid things. And if they're going to do it to you, imagine what they're going to do to George. So what the star beings really want is for us to develop ourselves so that we come to the table as equals. They're taking cues from us. We're not being dictated to how this is going to happen. We're in charge here. And the only way that we can really present ourselves properly is if we are grounded. We have that golden star and our capstone. Because then when we accomplish that, we meet these star beings as equals. We're in control. We're in charge. We are empowered and know our own importance. And that is really important to the star beings.
Yeah, we're all in this as one. You're right, Sam. We're all in this together. Come on in, George. really flying.
That's the ship. I don't know. There's an alarm that goes off. I don't know if he's going through a wormhole or something, but that alarm goes off periodically as he's going through some kind of a transition.
He's really flying. They're going through a lot of timelines.
Alfred, I got a question for you. Can I be the radio host for a minute?
Yeah, please.
Okay. What I would like to know is that if you had a wish or someplace that you would like to go with your favorite star being, where would you like to go?
That's a really interesting question. I would like to go to like a one of the paradise worlds, which is like it's like a staging center of the spiritual dimension, which they use for administering over universes, and where they create universes there, and they administer universes from there. And that would be really interesting for me.
And what about history? If you were given one of Val Thor's coins to view any part of history, where would you view?
You mean of Earth history?
Yes.
I would like to view the Lucifer Rebellion and really see what that was all about and how that came down. That is memorialized in the Old Testament by the Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden and being ejected because of what the snake did, the Lucifer, the Satan, the snake, and the garden, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. However, it's like much more, detailed. It's like the major historical event of this sector of our galaxy, even. And it occurred somewhere between 500,000 and 1 million years ago. And it's the reason that Earth has been quarantined for that long and is still under quarantine.
See, I think he went through a wormhole or something.
Yeah.
He's back.
Come on, George. If anybody that I would ever want to meet ET, Alfred, would be my little 3-inch humanoid guys. It's like if you blew up a helium balloon. These people, they have me in stitches. They're real high pitched. They're all over me. They constantly have you laughing. They're the neatest things. It's like a cartoon. You're waiting for Snow White and 7 Dwarfs and Bambi, the whole bit. Come on, George. Let's hear you good, buddy.
Now, could either or both of you at this point, there are probably a lot of viewers who are watching and who are listening who are saying, this is the strangest thing I've ever watched. I don't know if I can watch any more of it. It's like really weird. Could
Yep.
you like speak to them and give them pointers as to what they should be watching and what they're gaining from it, even though it's really weird for them?
If you want to say something first, Sam, go ahead.
Well, what they're doing is, remember, if they just came down and do a mass landing, which the people that have said that are so off base, because it would cause fear, and we can't ascend if we're in fear. It's being part of the Dark Cabal's regiment, so they don't want to do that. What they're doing is they are allowing us to interact with them on a gradual basis to get used to this aspect. So, say we're at step A, and that's just getting used to the ships, the sounds in the ships, becoming curious, being comfortable. I know that when he first started doing this with me, I'm a scaredy cat. I mean, I don't want any, ET showing up at my house. I don't know who's who, and I'm not comfortable with that. So what he did was he just allowed me to hear the sounds on the ship. He would push different buttons. One time he had different radio stations popping in and out. He does different various things. What it did for me and my consciousness was it confirmed to me that this isn't a pipe dream. He comes across on my telephone. There's just super things, weird things that are happening. And it just allowed me to keep going the next step, without always being in fear, feeling intimidated, feeling like that they're going to consume us. It's nothing like that. It's just a very gradual process. And this is what George and all the real galactic families out there want, is for us to ease into this, take one little step at a time. If you don't believe it, then it's not your time, and that's okay too. But I didn't really believe it until it started happening to me. And now, like I said, he comes in on my phone, my telephone. My friends have heard it. They can't sometimes dial out the cell phone from my house. They have to go outside, or they have to do various things to be able to make a cell phone call. So it's just what is right for the people, and where they are in their ascension process is the right way. So they're supporting us, but the importance is on us, on the people on this planet, not the star beings. The star beings are here to give another facet to our experiences.
Very good. Plus, the people are getting an opportunity. We're not just doing this in any shape or form, or I'm not doing this with George to embarrass Alfred or Sam. Sam has heard George many times. Come on, George.
I think George is telling you to hush, boyfriend.
No, he's trying to come in, girlfriend. But it's giving everybody an opportunity. This is history in the making. And if you go to that 27-minute recording, you're really going to hear him clear talking ET talk. He wants this to come out. This is a process for a lot of ETs, not just Mike Fab, for what he's doing. And he's coming in now.
Well, we have about 10 more minutes left in this segment. And I'm just wondering how to best use those 10 minutes. What do you think?
Whatever you want, Alfred, it's your
No, I
show.
mean, George is here, and you all are here. You all have much more experience in this than I do. I'm just saying how many more minutes there are. Uh, uh, and if we, if the listeners could speak, they would tell us also.
Right.
Uh,
I'd like to say that what the ETs or the star family wants for us now is number one, for us to realize we're not alone. Number two, the dark cabal is not in charge. They're being removed. All you're seeing around us is the echo. They can't use nuclear bombs. They can't use destruction. It's just an echo, and it's going to become less and less as we move forward. This year is the integration into the new dimensions or the new frequencies. So it's about what the people want to get out of it. If they want to have start being presence, number one, you got to look at yourself. Are you coming to the table with dirty laundry, or have you done your work and you're spiritually grounded and you're ready? Choose who you accept. Start getting into your own head and figuring out what is right for the individual. Nobody's here to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. The other thing is, too, is that you don't have to convince other people. We don't have to convince other people. You choose whether or not you want to believe. We're just trying to give you the best evidence that we can and to let you know that this is capable of, or this is going to happen, that this is happening, this is an option for us, and to diminish the fear of the dark cabal because they're not in charge, not at all.
Right.
This is where we're moving. So, and it's not just about having ET contact. There is a strengthening or a quickening occurring with spirituality in itself. Every one of these space beings are so evolved, and the way they got there is through the love harmonics, through the alpha brain waves, and they're in service to others. So the ones that are in service to self, that want to present themselves to a star being to manipulate them, to make money off of them, and to do this for the wrong reasons, you're not going to have your opportunity. All you're going to do is mirror back maybe an ET that has your same energy frequency. So this is all about the individual. Each person listening to this radio show is unique, different. They're in different levels of their evolution, and they can design and create their reality and how it's most comfortable for them to experience this option.
Very good, Sam. Come on, George. Playing with your mic.
I'd like to ask a question
Go ahead, Alfred.
with regard to the nature of the cabal. We released an interview yesterday. There's a thing called the high cabal, in other words, the cabal behind the cabal. And these people were postulating that it was the cone heads, the Homo capensis, the people with these long skulls, that are actually the hidden high cabal behind the human cabal. Is there any, have you heard from George or any other frequency, high frequency individuals or amongst yourselves, what you mean by the cabal?
You want me to take that, Ray?
Go ahead, Sam.
Okay, what I am learning is that imagine that we have a capstone that is duality on this planet. It's the black and the white. Above that, we do have a whole party of people that are orchestrating our duality experience. Okay, so just as important as it is for the Christ consciousness, it's also just as important to have the negativity, because you don't learn if you're comfortable, if you're just sitting there and everything's all la-di-da-di-da. It has to be both, and we choose which side. The ones on the top are going to be, when they talk about the crystal skulls or the elongated skulls, they're just one of many, and we all have a part in that. And even our higher consciousness is involved in that upper pyramid capstone. And then above that, we have the God consciousness, the creator consciousness. So it goes much, much, much higher than the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers. They're only in charge of one side of that capstone. So you have to go way above that, and you have to imagine God doesn't make mistakes. This is all perfect. It was all designed by us. And that's why I think that we are the Anunnaki. We are the ones that are returning with our consciousness, because we allowed to happen exactly what we wanted to happen. We designed our own reality. So that must mean that we are part of the Anunnaki.
Very good. We're going to move forward. We're going to go into a higher frequency. It's our time to evolve as humans. All this is going to happen. Thanks, Sam. Come on up, George.
And just like I didn't want to talk to the Nordics because I don't know if it's a reptilian or not. I didn't want to talk to any Greys because I don't know if it's one of those robots. So I didn't want to talk to certain people. I chose George. I even gave George his name because he's non-threatening. He has a really high vibration. So just as I chose George, I'm not special. I'm just like everybody else. They get to choose theirs.
Very good.
Come on, George.
And you know George likes you. He knows you're beautiful.
I'm sure I'm on some dimension making him fudge brownies somewhere. I'm not special. It's just that I was ready for that experience, and it all came to me as soon as I was ready for it. And that's true for all of us.
Come on, George.
So you hear him breathing, and then you'll hear him talking, which is the gruff.
Right, the gruff voice.
Has he said anything tonight?
Well, everything I was saying, he basically was telling me. That wasn't me. That was him.
I see.
Here he comes. They're observing your show, Alfred.
Oh, good.
All my Fab Four.
Oh, good.
It's funny because we're spying on them, but they're spying on us. Yeah. We're probably on some big screen TV somewhere.
Wherever I go, Alfred, they're there. They know I'm getting the information out that they want me to get out.
Very good. So so that it seems to me that the four of us and whoever else is involved at George's level should make plans to do frequent shows, especially in 2015, which is such an important year. I mean, do you realize that there are people out there? Do you realize that a nuclear weapon was dropped in the Ukraine within the last couple of weeks?
I didn't know that.
Well, I got information that wasn't really a nuclear blast. It was a dirty bomb.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, at least the genuine principle is that a portion of the mainstream media is blasting the here comes the war, meme. You know what I'm saying? About
Well,
about
that's
World
how
War
they
Three.
manipulate reality. That's how they get us to manifest what they want
Yeah,
because they can't do it. So they're utilizing us. So they do that so that we're creating their drama. So we have the frequency, we stay down in this density so they can stay to continue. We're all elevating and they don't like it because if we're gone, then they have to fight amongst themselves. But the counterbalance is George and other people that are making contact that is doing the positive energy. You see?
right,
Because now we're manipulating the minds for people what they want. We're giving them the tools again to manifest the reality that they really want. And that's how we're counteracting the 1-2 punch from the dark side.
right. And so what I'm saying is that we should have more of these programs, especially in 2015 and 2016, to begin to raise the vibration.
I agree.
Good.
I have an idea. What I would like to do is that as George makes more progress and does the next step, then we'll do another show.
Okay, it sounds good. Now, I'd like to ask people who are watching this generally, and they have this and they want to find out more. Tell us, Muggsy, where can they go again?
EBH.club. And it is a subscription. I charge $10 a month, and that's because I need to be freed up to write my books. I'm writing every day. Last night I went to bed after 2. Sometimes I'm getting 3-4 hours of sleep, trying to keep up with all this stuff. So it's a win-win situation for both of us, where people that help sponsor us to free up so we can so I can write the books, I can write down the George stuff, so I can keep on top of everything. And it's all put on ebh.club. And along with my book, they're going to be able to access the information on the quantum health, home health, well center that I'm doing, so they can figure out how to heal themselves quickly without spending a ton of money and chasing their tail like we have been in the past. So abh.club.
What's that? Is that EBED?
Oh, Ernie Boy Henry .club. And it's a club because in order to get into God's world, you have to have a private industry. The public industry is owned by Lucifer. And we found this out with the natural health, is that in natural health, we had to go private because in the private industry, we can use God's remedies, God's modalities. The same thing with common law.
Could you go through that again? That's very interesting, but kind of tricky.
Well, in the public sector is owned by Lucifer's army. All the laws and stuff pertain to the public sector. In the private sector, if you're in a private club, then we can use God's remedies, spirituality. It's not controlled.
Another reason that Sam met George is what she's doing for humanity, making people healthy, for the knowledge that she has. She's an important piece of the puzzle in this. And this is another reason, part of my Fab Four that come around her. Well, actually, all my Fab Four around her. She's got a lot of power behind her. just like you do out there.
So, Sam, is the public sector always going to be controlled by Lucifer in your view?
No, because what we're going to do is we're already shifting from the admiralty law, which is the crown law. We're moving into common law. And common law is the American legal system. There's only 2 clauses in it. You will not do harm to others, and you will not do harm to people's chattel. So those are the 2 laws in common law, which is known as God's law. That is what the American Constitution is based on. If you look at the Constitution that everybody's talking about that belongs to the USA Corporation, that they have 4 constitutions. And that's why they can delete and add at will. The American Constitution, they slid it under the rug. They don't talk about it. But when you get into the American Constitution, it's very different than the corporation constitution. They have 4, we have 1. And in our Constitution, the American Constitution, you cannot change or amend that Constitution. You cannot have government officials that are lawyers, because on the very face of lawyer, they represent the crown. The bar is the British Academy of Registration. That is not, that's treasonous to the American Constitution. And that's where we're going, and it has to do with the way that we're going to swing the pendulum back to a republic, which people have to understand. When you talk about a democracy, that means that it is Lucifer first. Well, I got to think of how it's the people are last, then the state, federal government, and then it's Lucifer on the top, or their God on top. That's a democracy. When you look at a republic, it's our God on top, the people, then the state, then the federal government. That's the difference between a democracy and a republic. So that's why everybody's harping on, we want a republic. And another thing that I'll address is that everybody's saying, okay, who's going to go arrest these guys because the military belongs to the Dark Cabal or with this USA Corporation? Well, that's not true. The authority is usurped by the Native Americans. When the Native Americans get together and they push their authority, the military goes under the Native Americans because they have the Treaty for America. Do you have another question?
Well, I'm just trying to, feel now, are these political things that you said, these are sort of your opinions or
It's
what?
stuff that I've been doing research on, cases of people that have actually gone to court. There has been Native Americans that have gone to court. There was a show on Revolution Radio where one of the, I believe it was a grandson of some chief, don't quote me on that, but you can go look it up, but he actually went to court and demonstrated that the Native Americans can take control over the military. They come first. That's part of the reason why the corporation keeps the American Indians impoverished, is so that they can't have the fundings to go to court. That's one of the reasons. Because as soon as they get their power, and the people get behind the Native Americans in these treaties, the land belongs to America. And a federal government, a federal outside agency, corporation cannot come in and steal the Grand Canyon, cannot steal our waterway rights. The USA is a different country with their own constitution, and they have 4 of them, and they can rip them up or add to or whatever they want at will, because the hidden one is the American Republic.
George is really coming down not for just one country. He's really coming down for the planet.
Well, he is coming down for the planet, yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, he's coming down for the planet.
So
And
because,
you know why?
sorry,
And you know why?
tell me.
Because we've all prayed for it. We're all manifesting it. We've wished it. We've wanted this. We've been talking about this. So we're the ones that provided an opening in our reality for them to come in. That's how much power we have.
Right.
Could,
Exactly.
could you say that again? I didn't quite understand that.
Our consciousness. Because what happened is that a lot of the dark cabal overwhelmed us with their Luciferian agenda 21. And so a lot of people started praying and meditating, wanting assistance and help. And so when we did that as a group consciousness, we opened up a door to our reality for these intergalactic beings to come in to help us. We did it with our consciousness because we were asking for help. We're ready for a change. We don't want to play in the sandbox of limitations anymore.
We're not alone no more either.
Yeah. Is there anything that George wants to say, or do you think, or that you would like to say that you heard George say, or on behalf of George, that now, before the end of the program?
Everything I've been saying, except for the legal stuff, I've done that research on my own because I'm also a paralegal. So I have dived into this and did a lot of research. But everything else about the timelines, the consciousness, everything else has come from George. He's been teaching me. And what I've been doing is looking at the different pieces of our reality, and then he's helping me to piece it all together so I can comprehend what's actually happening on this plane and what we're doing as our intergalactic selves.
Right. Right. Ray, is there? Would you like to say something that, are the things that you would like to say that you haven't gotten a chance to say yet?
The only thing I want to say is 2015 is going to be an amazing year. Going to be a lot of good things happen, some bad things happen. It's a setting year for the major year for all of us for 2017. More of these great, good entities, ETs, are coming in, and they're going to help change the way everything's supposed to be down here. It should have been down here, and now it's taking effect. Where our frequency is moving up, and these people are here to help us. And everything's going to work out. It's going to be a more beautiful planet, a more peaceful planet. And we know what we have to do to turn everything around, and we're doing it. And George is getting excited. He's trying to come in big time because he knows what I'm saying. And I speak for them. And Sam knows what I'm talking about. She's got a lot of education from George, and she's going to get a lot more. And when we're ready to do some more of these shows, we will offer. We'll get back to you and This is what, this is the reason why we're doing this show, so people can hear something here that is real. I know it's real. This person is a great friend of mine. These people are friendly, more than you ever know, and they're out for us. That's all I want to say.
Okay.
And I do want to say it's a pleasure and honor to be on your show again.
Oh, thank you. Sam, is there something that you want to say that you haven't had a chance to say until then?
I'm trying to pick up on George. Mainly, he wants everybody to work on themselves, and he wants people to realize that they're here, that we don't need to live in fear, that they are watching over us, and we're only going to experience what we want to experience. But they're sort of here to be the referees on this game board, and they want people to know that they're here. We do have options.
Very good. Very good. Well, this has been an extraordinary experience, and a very, I think, central one to the planetary process that we're undergoing now. And I really want to express our gratitude to George, the interdimensional being, for showing up for these. To you, Ray, and to you, Dr. Muggsy, for carrying this work and these frequencies, and for coming here and for coming elsewhere. And we really look forward to the next program that you'll be doing. We'll be sending this out far and wide, internationally, and we'll get from you. Would it be okay if we did those? If we showed those 27 minutes, or do you want people to go to ebh.club?
It's on EBH. It's also on YouTube, but I will send it to you too. I just can't touch my keyboards or anything because George has control over everything.
Sure. Yeah. We can do that after we're off the air. So this is amazing, and we really ask people who are listening and participating in this. I know it's a matter of frequencies. It's not so much verbal, but frequencies, which is something that's new, to really give us your feedback, either in the comments section to the video, in the comments section to the articles, or in emails to us as to the direction that you think this should go, as to benefits that you think this is happening. This is really a vibrational breakthrough of the new reality that is the new dimensional reality, and the new fourth and fifth dimensional planet that we're a part of.
And George just agreed 100% with you, Alfred.
Oh, great. So we all know what we're about. Well, thank you very much. And on behalf of George, on behalf of Ray, on behalf of Dr. Sam Muggsy, and this is Alfred Lamont Weber from newsinsideout.com.
Come on in, George. Do it now.
Sending you all of this wonderful new reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alfred.